Hello, I hope all is progressing well. Welcome to I Don't Know, We Can Talk About It, where we discuss myriads of topics civilly, reasonably, and responsibly. My name is Kevin Dufresne. Our first topic is with regard to SEL in education. Is SEL a band-aid, as the headline of the article mentions, or is SEL offering more for individuals to benefit from? The reality of SEL in education connects with dimensions that not only regard a student, they'll regard the employees of all levels as well. The recognition of every individual in an educational environment is extremely important to recognizing that humans are at work. The recognition helps individuals better acknowledge each other within an educational environment. It is far too easy to continue about one's day in one's role without recognizing the assisting responsibilities of others. So the SEL factor, which the article is mentioning, which may seem like a silo of recognition for a student as a student with connections to testing or homework, to certain situations that are social, is what is extremely valuable to bring to attention when in an educational environment. So having different methods of approaching work, great, wonderful. The dimensions of connecting with social parameters are what really ground SEL to balance with addressing whole persons. Social and emotional learning, social and emotional competencies. These are areas of which require necessary, appropriate attention. The educators, the employees in an educational environment, recognizing each other in ways that are of respect, of good professionalism, are assisting factors to how individuals may regard each other. Additionally, helping with understanding the responsibilities happening are helpful for students to recognize the trajectory of education and the possibilities of life. Being in an educational atmosphere, for example, telling individuals to clean up after themselves is quite different than telling individuals that it's important to clean up after yourself, because this helps with establishing a cleaner environment, one of which has individuals working to keep clean, individuals that might not be apparent in front of everyone teaching every single day, though are in the environment teaching to a degree of how to ensure an environment is clean, how to clean the environment, facilitating how to manage food. Individuals might be in an educational environment unaware of the full extent of what may be happening with roles in educational environments, which brings a huge step for SEL to address with regard to being cognizant of an educational environment, of educational criterion, recognizing that there are employees here, there are individuals operating functionally, efficiently, at work, amidst many students. these are learning lessons of themselves, of which any educational environment may embrace well. Any educational environment doing so is greatly benefiting individuals to understand the possibilities of life, especially considering a financial aspect, which is extremely important to acknowledge. How an individual may pursue one's interest and be making commensurate financially in comparison to a different field. So interest alignment is extremely important, and it's important to recognize that individuals are able to make livings with certain jobs. Some jobs appeal more to other individuals for certain reasons. So the SEL Foundation is still growing, and it is extremely important that educational environments embrace the dimensions of social and emotional learning beyond only students to engage with how realistically social and emotional learning is an integral part to professional development, to education. In such a sense, one may find the broadening of learning to reach beyond a barrier of which testing may not be able to measure sufficiently, which is a grand part of the learning experience addressing whole persons. Our next topic is about costs with regard to addressing health insurance for individuals of educational environments, which one may navigate to inquire of, are there insurance benefits that tie into particular groups? Are there ways to support employees working in education that may bring employees to find sufficient avenues personally, more so than through a group insurance policy? Is there a better avenue to address what an educational environment finds beneficial to support health-wise to a particular degree that may bring about insurance companies to engage with a discount plan for certain scenarios of groups? How much coverage is necessary? Might individuals be able to opt for custom plans that may fall under a group category, which may operate by a premium cost due to the customization, though an overall more affordable cost due to the group size, due to the large investment? So when assessing how individuals may regard what is beneficial for an educational environment's growth, one may inquire of these capacities and regard with great attention what is valuable for an educational environment to grow appropriately well. What needs to be in an educational environment? What across the landscape may bring about better growth for an educational environment, so as to address how to implement the appropriate pathways of which may garner more growth, more success. The recognition of what may be working and what may need development is extremely important, especially when considering one's geographical placement. For example, if an educational environment is in a district which is popular for a particular sport, though in a state which is popular for a different extracurricular activity, and the educational environment may better support one activity or another, or introduce one activity or another at more efficient cost than what may not be working in an educational environment's pathways, then an educational environment may address how to institute more efficiently dimensions of activity, which may bring the educational environment better attention, more opportunities, more pathways to connect with higher education, and address how another activity may receive adjustment, which doesn't mean cutting, which may mean more cost-effective avenues of competition, of travel, of clothing, of food, so long as the standard of which the activity requires is meeting the funding capacity, then the individuals may still benefit from the activity, though another activity may have space to thrive. In this way, individuals may bring attention to the appropriate parameters of development, which an educational environment deserves constantly ongoing monitoring, so as to be more efficient with proactive developments that may garner successes, that may garner more learning opportunities with objective measures for the growth of the educational environment and its constituents. Now, the other dimension regards how to implement pathways that bring about supports for employees of educational environments in a way that does not impede on a budget or a reserve, though attends to the external realities that are available to support individuals. So educational environments may address how external factors may be extremely beneficial for employees and bring the external factors into consideration so awareness increases, so employees may greatly benefit and educational environments may greatly benefit because of operating more efficiently, not only of a silo. All right, it's time for some origami. Today's origami is an origami squirrel. So I have here a square sheet of paper. I'm going to fold the paper point to point. Then I'm going to bring 3 points to the center, of which I create after folding point to point. Then I'm going to fold in the 2 edges of the points that are touching each other toward the center, and I'm going to fold in the corner of each side. And then I'm going to turn this origami portion around, and I'm gonna fold at the angle at the edge of each corner of the long edge. Then I'm going to fold it up. Here, I'm going to fold in so the line is my guide, and I'm gonna fold in so I can make a diagonal of that square, which is somewhat visible. It's a small square that I create after making that initial fold, which brings out that bottom line. So again, I'm just gonna fold it in. I'm getting these instructions from the origami link, which you may find in the summary of the video. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna have to fold in. Also, that fold on this side, I'm actually gonna turn it around and do that fold in the same manner, just on the other side. Okay. Now, I'm actually gonna check the origami instructions so that I have the correct side, because this is going to be a factor in determining how the fold is. So I do have the correct side here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold in. This part is very important to recognize. I'm going to fold in, but halfway. So I'm going to take a portion of this upper triangle here. I'm going to fold it about halfway, and it's going to give me a double fold. So I have to pay close attention here to these instructions. So I fold in, I'm pressing it down correctly, it seems, and this is to actually look, so it's to have an extra fold in, and that's what I'm really trying to get at. So I first have to fold in a little bit. Actually, I fold in a little bit here, bring it in on the inside, and I have to fold it down. So I fold it down. There's like a half fold here, and that is the tricky part, which I'm trying to navigate. There's like a half fold here that I have to do, and that's kind of how it looks. And this half fold seems to come in here. We're going to continue with this, because it's a tricky half fold here that I'm looking at. So we fold it in half there, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So this half fold here happens, the entire angle comes down. So I'm gonna flex this I'm gonna bring this portion down, and then I'm gonna do the same on the other side, and so fold it in, pop this corner out, fold it. Okay. Well, there you have it. And then fold it in. My ear's a little bit to the side, but this is how it's supposed to look. So, and voila. So in that, we learn how to do it. So the fold that happens comes about through honestly just messing around with it. So that's the whole fun of origami. You're gonna fold it in, and you have to kind of pinch it in a little bit as you're folding. So you're gonna pinch it and then fold down. This way you'll maintain the integrity of the ears, and you'll be able to go to the next portion a little smoother, more in alignment with the origami instructions. So from here, now that we're at this portion, we're going to actually take this, we're going to lift. There's more to do here. So we're going to lift this portion though. We're going to lift it, and we are going to open this portion. We're going to actually flex it. We're going to bend it in here. But there's another portion to attend to, where after we have our fold here, that initial fold, we're going to fold across. I'm looking at the instructions. We're going to fold across. So we already have that fold, and we're just going to keep that across fold. So when I say across, we're just going to follow the fold that is already set here. There's a fold here, and we just follow that fold. And from here, we have everything forming naturally into place. If you just follow that fold and fold it, then you'll be able to see the formation of your head. And then you can bring it out a little bit, and you'll have more of a 3D effect. You see, it's more animalistic 3D effect developing. Okay. So from here, you can keep the fold tight, but give it some flair. From here is where we actually want to make sure that our fold is behind the flare. So you see my fold right now is in front of the flare. Quite a unique kind of creature. To make this squirrel, we want the fold to be opposite. So one easy way to do that is just to pinch in where you already fold, and you can just fold in as so. Next, you can just take this portion here to whatever extent and fold it. We have a wonderful looking creature right now. This is a squirrel origami, though we have this development. Again, origami is the Japanese art of folding paper, and we have this wonderful development here. Just this really cool creature. It can be a squirrel, but it can be something a little bit more as well. Just a little bit different. So you can round out these portions so that you can give this creature some more form. Okay, you can bring in these pointier areas just to bring out, again, some rounding dimensions. Feel free to do as you will with it. It is your squirrel, it is your creation. And from here, well, you can just enjoy this creation. Voila, Origami Squirrel. And if you want to, you can likely draw on it some eyes, create more to your capacity of creativity that you so choose. I champion reading physical books. When an individual reads a physical book, there are a lot of health benefits, one of which is that when an individual is reading a physical book, the brain physically changes. Long-term health benefits from reading a physical book. Money for couples. This text is actually a sequel, a follow-up of the first book, where the author is engaging with how the author wants to teach people how to be rich, going through wonderful stages to address the reality of how one may manage one's finances so as to grow well financially long term with regard to financial dimensions of which are present and modern. In the first book, the author mentions relational factors, though engages with the relational factors through this book for couples to a grander capacity because of the reality of how individuals have relationships with money being an integral factor to how communication in the relationship is, how the relationship involves money, and recognizing financial details may vary per person. So, with the two individuals in unison as somewhat of a backdrop, an informing dimension of the conversation, the author brings the details of handling finances to the masses. And I think what is really important to recognize in the text in connection with its dimensions is that individuals have different relationships with money. And when a couple is engaging with how to proceed with decision making about what may involve finances, the background of each's individual relationship with money is extremely relevant, extremely important, because the reality is everyone has a different experience, where one person may think money is a relevant economic factor and is easily attainable if one is doing what one needs to do in life and obtaining opportunities which are present, or seeking opportunities to ensure one is being more available for opportunity, being able to access more opportunity. And one individual might have all the money in the world, though feel like money is an extremely important emotional item. These are only two of many potential realities. So the text is really digging into how to make decisions about finances as a couple. What might come to question when couples have to make these decisions? What might couples need to consider when engaging with what marriage might be? What housing possibilities might be? What interest personally might be worth saving for? because what the text does well with is engaging with how individuals are individuals and relationships meet in the middle at times. So how does one manage finances between accounts? How do couples talk about and proactively engage having a savings account or a checking account together? How do couples decide on how to budget? These are relevant questions, especially when the finances may differ with regard to income between couples. When one couple may have a balance of equal income, one couple may just have a different fluctuation, and another couple might have one person being a breadwinner and one person being at home. There may be circumstantial variances, though the reality of couples and finances is broad and varied. So the text does a really good job of integrating many details to really find a balance of which couples may greatly benefit from acknowledging, so as to ensure that finances don't deter what may be of a great future, a great relationship. And the reality is how an individual uses one's finances personally and in a relationship brings on other dimensions of behavior, of personality. Individuals may have a great coupling financial plan, though separately may use money in ways that both don't bring lifestyles to be agreeable, to be with each other. So obviously finances are not the main thing of a relationship, though may be a part of relationship. So relationships vary in many, many ways. So I think the text does bring a lot for individuals to consider in a way that is mindful of what relationships might be, and also engages with how individuals may be respectful in relationships with circumstances as they might be. Thank you for joining. I don't know. We can talk about it. Onward and Upward, Kevin Dufresne.